And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks. And I'll apologize right off the bat because I am wet. I'm sorry. I ran from the shop out to the car because I left my umbrella in the car. And so, yes, and it is raining in Nancy's Neighborhood right now, and it's probably a nice rain that we need. But I am so thrilled to have Reba Terry on again. I always love having Reba on because the project that she's working on is awesome. And Kevin Brooks was on with me yesterday, and off camera we talked about something that he was going to mention to you. Okay. And so just write that down because you know Kevin, if he's going to mention it, it'll get mentioned. And Rachel Goins is with her today, and they represent ATS, the bridge, which has to do with the opioid crisis that we are seeing across our county, across our state, and across America. So talk to me, gals.
All right. Well, for your viewers who don't know about us, can I just do
Please do.
little information here? ATS stands for Awareness, Treatment, and Sustainability. We spend the majority of our time raising awareness and letting people know what is going on in this epidemic. Secondly, we direct people to treatment. We don't have a treatment facility, but we have Steve Morgan on our board and on staff that helps people locate treatment, whether it be inpatient, outpatient, one-on-one counseling, whatever it is they need. And then the sustainability part is once folks have gone through treatment and have reached the place of sobriety, then we help them to maintain that through plugging them into various programs that are available in our community.
And to me, I understand that withdrawing from opioids is painful and something a lot of people don't want to go to. But the sustainability, that to me is one of the problems because it just takes just the least little thing to get somebody back on, doesn't it?
And the problem, Nancy, is that treatment for most folks is very brief. A lot of times they just get detoxed and they really don't get treatment. What we're finding out now, or I'm just finding it out, maybe it's been known for a long time, but it takes the brain at least a year.
Oh, wow.
If the person has been abusing for any amount of time to fully, well, probably not even fully recover, but begin for the fog to lift. So if you go in, even for 30 days, which is a long-term rehab now. Of course, you have some organizations, Life Changers, Farm 58, Teen Challenge, that do a year, but there aren't near that many. And anyway, so that's why the sustainability piece is very difficult because it's like they're not done yet.
I understand.
They get out of the oven too soon.
That's
yeah,
absolutely.
But yet we expect them to get it together.
You did 30 days of rehab, so you should be okay now.
Mm-hmm. And their brain just isn't, you just can't even imagine the damage done to the brain. And it's not only opioids, alcohol, other substances, but the brain is just affected and it takes time for it to regenerate. So that...
And a year.
Minimum.
Minimum.
Yeah.
That's scary. And
it is.
Anybody that says, I have a problem, I need help, and then you just give them 30 days.
Exactly. And many folks don't even feel like they can take 30 days because what is that going to do to their income? What is that going to do?
There you go.
And so then if you tell them you really need to be gone for a year, it's very complicated. Don't want to minimize that, but the facts are it takes what it takes.
And it's probably not inexpensive to go through the treatment to get to the point of sustainability.
Exactly.
Does insurance cover that?
Some, but not. And a lot of folks, of course, don't even have insurance.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's, but some of the programs, Teen Challenge is free. They rely on donations, and so there are some programs that folks can get into, but it's not easy.
Wow.
It's not easy. So that's why the preponderance of our work is awareness. Let's not start there. Instead of trying to fix people on the other side, let's prevent it.
Absolutely.
And we're into the schools, and
Good.
our target audience is adolescents. We really want to prevent this thing. But in order to really get to them, we've got to teach their parents.
Absolutely.
And anyway, so
Absolutely.
we'll go anywhere.
So in the schools, do you start at middle school or do you go lower than that?
grade.
Fourth grade. Okay.
Yes.
Fourth grade, and that's great. So I think you all have an event coming up.
We
Is
do.
that okay?
We'll let
Rachel, tell me about
Rachel
that.
Tell me about that.
So I met Reba at a pastor's summit that they were speaking on the opiate addiction, and I cried the entire time because, they were speaking about my son and other people that I know. My son passed away from an overdose 15 months ago.
Oh my gosh.
So he was 24. His name was Mason. Through my darkest time, if it weren't for people being the light for me, loving me, telling me I was, worth more than the darkness was consuming. I talked to Reba about an idea that the Lord laid on my heart, light the night, basically to bring awareness, hope, and support to people who are struggling with the same addiction as my son. And it's not just addiction; it's anybody's darkness. It could be depression, suicide. It could be bullying, body shaming. I know everyone has someone in their family that's suffering through some kind of darkness. And you can be the light for that person. Encourage them and not discourage them. Lift them up. Don't tear them down. And that's what Be the Light is all about. It's about being that person for that someone. And that's what they need. They just need to know that they're loved and that they're worth more than what the world says they are. And I'm so passionate about this event and upcoming events that may be coming. And I don't know if you know the Starfish Mission. It's about the little girl that was on the shores.
Yes.
I absolutely love the story because, she didn't care if they were broken, tattered, or torn. If she could just get them back to the water, there's hope.
Right.
And a starfish regenerates its body, and it takes up to a year.
Oh, wow.
How amazing is that?
Really?
She just spoke about that. Yes, it takes up to a year for them to grow their arm back or, whatever limb they've broken or torn. So I use that anytime I speak because, she said, maybe I can make a difference to this one. And if you're alive, as long as you're alive, there's still hope. And that's what people need to know.
Absolutely.
And that's my desire, and the Lord has laid it on my heart very passionately, just to be that light for people. I've been through where they're going through, what they're going through, but I don't want them to be where I am. It's horrible. It's depressing.
I can't
It's
even
difficult.
imagine, yeah.
The grief is unbelievable, but I know God has a plan. He has a purpose for everything. He's given me a mission, and I just want to go out and share. Mason's story, I skimmed the top a little bit, but it goes much deeper than him just having, dying of an overdose. There's a lot to the people that he came in contact with. Obviously, the drug dealer. He visited my house 3 days after my son passed, wanted to give me closure on my son's death. There's a lot to Mason's story.
Wow.
Mason was a good kid. He played sports. He was an honor student. He got caught up in the bondage, and the bondage just kept a hold of him, and he just couldn't break free. I couldn't be the light for him. He didn't have anyone to be the light for him. So it's tough. It's very tough.
Okay, so in this program, Be the Light, do you want some teenagers also to join in and be the light? Do you want them to understand what maybe they can do to help their friend that they realize?
Anyone that wants to be, and I have a Facebook page. It's hashtag Be the Light 37312 for our zip code because there's several Be the Lights all over the all over
I
the
can
nation.
imagine. Okay.
But it's anybody. Hey, if you have someone that you're being the light for, whether it's a person suffering through addiction or depression or suicidal thoughts or bullying, body shaming, it's not just one thing. It's all the things that bring darkness upon someone, and it makes them feel unworthy, and where they have to turn to opiates or whatever the substance is.
Right.
So it can be anyone. It could be a grandmother who's been trying to be the light for the grandchildren that they're raising, or the aunt, or the uncle, or it's whoever. It's whoever. Anybody that wants to be the light, that's
And we're going to have several vendors there that provide services
Okay.
for substance
Now,
abuse.
what is this going to be called? Be the Light or no?
Light
no.
the Night. Light the Night.
Light
The
the
Night.
Night. Okay.
And it's September 8th
Okay.
from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Greenway, on the Greenway stage area.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's that evening.
So we hope it doesn't rain on you that
That's
day.
right. That's right. We're praying for that.
Of course, you can run over to the pavilion.
Yes,
It is
we
covered
could.
as long as it's not a blowing rain. But okay, so it's open to the public.
Yes, it is, and free of charge. The first hour or so, we're going to have several brief speakers from a diverse segments of our population, law enforcement, medical, clergy, different ones speaking very briefly about the impact of this epidemic and so forth. And then we'll have vendors there with tables, information relevant to getting information about treatment, how ways that, because we hear time and again, and Rachel said it as well, that, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know
Yes.
who to
I
ask.
had no idea.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
no, and my son, he begged me, Mom, please. And I had no clue that these organizations even existed because one, they're not advertised, and two, people don't talk about them. We live in a community, unfortunately, where we don't want to talk about the epidemic
Yes.
that is killing
Yes.
people on a daily basis. So I want people to know that there's organizations out there that are willing to fight for that person if they're willing to put in the time, whether it's a long term. I'm just so passionate about helping people and getting them where they need to go. Visiting some of the organizations, trying to see what would fit with whoever, because I have people reaching out to me, mothers who have daughters that are going through it, or sons who are going through it. I've had probably 8 or 10 just over the last couple of weeks Facebook message me wanting to know, what do I do? And I tell them, you love your children. You tell them that they're worth more. You tell them that you're going to fight for them no matter what. It'll be the worst fight you will ever fight. They will be the
only imagine.
meanest, the ugliest to you because they love you the most. They just don't know how to pull away from the bondage.
Right. And a lot of the opioid, from what I understand, starts out with a doctor's prescription.
Legitimate, yes.
I'm in pain and I need this. And so then we get addicted to it and then we keep on. Others are from people saying, oh, here, try this. It'll make you feel better, or your attitude will change, or this and that and the other. And I hope that for this event that night that you don't just have people who have a problem. I hope you have other community people that are there saying, we want to be aware.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think they're aware of the problem. They want to know how to fix it.
And I think
have
that's great.
People
Yeah.
reaching out to me all the time, how do you fix such an epidemic that is killing so many people? And it's not just Cleveland, Tennessee. It's all over the nation.
Oh, yes.
You hear about it all the time. So it's not, we want people to come. We want people to find information. We want them to come and hear what we're wanting to do, what the community is trying to come together to do. It's kind of like a rally.
And we're also, we want it to be a family-friendly event.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's music, there's, we'll have activities, bounce houses, face painting.
Oh, good.
Things for the
Okay.
kids. So
Okay.
it's, so it's not all gloom and doom. But at the end, we will be having like a candlelight vigil toward the end, and names of folks who have passed because of this, their names are going to be called. So if your viewers have anyone that whose name they want called, they just need to contact me, and I'd be happy to put them on that list.
Now, what time is this going to start?
6 o'clock at night.
6 o'clock.
6 to 8.
6 to 8, September the 8th.
It's a Saturday night.
On September the 8th. Well, I know that Bradley County Schools got real involved in this,
Yes.
but it takes a tragedy for people
It
to
does.
say, oh, my goodness, we've got a problem.
Yes.
And
it does,
and that's a
unfortunately.
shame that it takes that. And I think I'm sitting here thinking, I never did that. I never knew anybody that did that. Well, I don't know that I never knew anybody
Yeah,
that did
that's
that,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
unfortunately, and opiates, you cannot tell an opiate addict versus a meth or heroin addict. It could be anybody you're sitting by in the dentist
Right.
office. It could be anybody you're sitting by at church. It does not discriminate. Opiates addiction does not discriminate, and that's the thing. A lot of times you don't even know.
No.
Yeah.
You have no clue.
Well,
they're the highest functioning, and they function until they don't.
Yep.
Well, and I think I shared this with Reba before, but my late husband, about 5 or 6 years ago, had double knee replacement. And coming out of therapy, they gave him a bottle of opioids, for the pain. And he took one, and he said, that's it. And then a friend of his said, "Oh, you don't need to throw those away. You know, you can get $25 a piece for those on the street."
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, and fortunately, that's not what we did with them. We did get rid of them, but I had, and that was 5 or 6 years ago, and I had no idea.
Right. I'll put a plug in really quick since you brought that up. We'll be having a drug take back in October.
Okay.
October 27th. We'll hit it again with you before then.
Please do.
But if your listeners and viewers have people or have product that they need to get rid of, there's no need to wait until then. They can take you to the Sheriff's Department any day of the week, as well as the 10th Judicial Drug District and
CVS.
Cook's Pharmacy.
And CVS, yes, we
CVS
have
Oh,
takes
those,
it
okay.
back.
yes.
All right, very
so
good.
you can return anything in your medicine cabinet. We don't want to be accidental drug dealers.
And we don't need to flush it down our toilets
please
because
don't do
that goes back into our systems. And I'm on a well, and I don't need
you
to.
don't
I
need
don't
that.
need to do that either. So, ladies, thank you all so much for
thank
being on.
you, Nancy.
Now, one more time, tell and then also tell some information about where we can reach you in case.
Okay. Our website is atsthebridge.org, and my phone number is 423-464-4600.
And
Okay,
Reba
and
will
then-
be more than happy to talk with you and work
will.
with you and anything you need. That's
right.
September the 8th. That's
6
Saturday
o'clock.
from 6 to 8 at the stage at the Greenway. So we hope everybody, even if you're saying out there, I don't know anybody, you don't, as the ladies just said, you don't know whether you know anybody or not. So
Correct.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
thank
so
you
much
all
for
so
having us.
much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you. Don't go away. Watch our commercials like I always tell you. Support our sponsors because they pay our bills. And I'll be right back with another guest as soon as the commercials are over. So don't go away.